Got the music playing. Pre-stream hype. I can't type. Okay. Should I be on any specific map right now? Maybe the larger map?
You can do larger map or Greyford, either one would work for now.
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now. I'll just be on the larger map.
Alright.
Okay.
Cool. I don't know if you want to do an intro every time before I start, or leave that up to you.
Oh yeah, we can do an intro. Yeah. Especially if I'm going to be uploading these to YouTube, I'll probably try to do an intro every time.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the next chapter of the Barrens. This is going to be a D&D series that we're doing here on the channel. You might be watching this on Twitch, you might be watching this later on YouTube after I upload it. But if you do want to watch live, you can catch me on twitch.tv/mvnk, that's twitch.tv/monk, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch them afterwards. And we might be doing some live streams over on YouTube as well. That's Monk HD, MVNK HD on YouTube. And if you want to give a little introduction at the beginning as well, Morgan, about kind of what this is and how it came about. I know we want to get some more details of the world itself for those who are not familiar with this type of gameplay.
Well, a lot of it is just sort of discovered as you play, but this is a D&D 5th edition setting of my creation with some homebrewed rules to help fit it into the particular genre, because it is a no magic Western fantasy setting, or Wild West fantasy setting. And so there are a lot of traditional fantasy races living in a Wild West type world in which it's been 100 years after an apocalyptic event known as the Great Calamity happened, where all the gods killed each other, and now the survivors just live according to however they can manage. And this is a story of one such survivor and those allies he makes along the way.
Very cool. You keep, you say no magic, but I keep like in the back of my mind hoping that like something pops up eventually that's like a little secret thing. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Just a curious thought I have.
as one does.
What you want to give like a little overview of what happened last time?
Yeah, actually, if you want, I sort of bake into my introductions to each episode a brief overview, and it sort of transitions into describe what we're doing at the very moment. So if you'd like to start, we could do that.
I am down.
All right. The 30th of Insummer, Greyford, in the Greyford Hospital, late afternoon. A few days ago, you began your trek back to Greyford to collect your bounty for taking care of the Claude Gaines gang. Along the way, you wrangled a small herd of aurochs, battled giant scorpions, and even intimidated a pack of hungry wargs before finally making it back to the relative safety of the city. You also further bonded with Steel and helped show him what it means to feel respect and equality. While showing Steele around Greyford, you witnessed a chaotic, half-successful heist of the local bank, masterminded by the goblin outlaw known as Splick Spigot. His gang of goblins, plus one dim-witted ogre, would have likely found success in their scheme if it wasn't for the combined quick thinking and courage of you and Steele. At this moment, you are in the undercity of Greyford, wincing as the local surgeon, a dwarf named Svafr Helgeson, digs shotgun pellets out of your side with medical tweezers. You've been in this room for a while, long enough for Cornelia and Jack to join you. Cornelia sits at a small table next to your cot as she divvies up the gold everyone earned for the gang's bounty. 16 apiece, she says. What? That's it? Says Jack. Cornelia nods. 80 total, divided between the four of us and the last fifth for the company box. Jack sighs. I think it's about time for us to find higher paying gigs. That or making sure we're going 2 by 2 rather than 4 at a time. It's more dangerous, but we bring in more when we're on more jobs. Steele is sitting nearby as well, having bought a length of rope and some simple tools to fashion his scorpion knife into more of a sharpened gauntlet. He has the same gleam in his eye that you saw when he realized he'd like to further explore the mercenary life. What would you like to do?
So I'm laying, I'm assuming, like kind of on a couch or a bed, and
yeah,
I've been shot in the...
Sitting up on this cot right now as he's sort of digging out from your side and your back these pellets.
Yeah. Say,
yeah, hold still, boy.
It kind of hurts. How's it looking, Doc?
Now you're going to live, but whatever you're doing out there, I recommend not getting shot so much.
What did the I look to Cornelia and I say, did the locals say anything about the robbery? Did they get the other two that were stuck inside?
Yeah, they actually found the other two. The sheriff managed to wrangle them up, and they're out of the jailhouse right now, though there's an angry mob of people out there begging for blood. As far as I understand, though, the sheriff seems to have other ideas what they want to do. I think the sheriff wants to get these guys transported off to Hangman's Trench, probably to get the United Army bounty and build relations with the United Army. I don't know how that mob's going to take it, though.
Well, normally killing them's not going to be the answer. They need to do time for their crime.
Jack says, yeah, you think that, but one thing you always get a lot of anger for is when you mess with people's money, and they just ran off with a whole lot of it.
How much did they get off with?
Ain't no telling. I mean, you saw how many sacks full they had. They just had tons of potato sacks full of gold, as I heard some of the people say. And Steele nods and says, yeah, we were close to being able to see all they took. It was just sack after sack they put in the back of that fort that was on that big fella's back.
They're lucky that that's all they got was... that's all they took was money and not lives, based on what it looked like they were planning on doing with that gun.
And as you say this, you actually hear another familiar voice come in and says, yes, it sounds like everybody was very lucky that nothing worse than what happened. And as you look, Karam and Ofgrim have actually joined you, and they've apparently come back from their job and are meeting you here in Greyford as they've come to return their bounty.
Hey boys, how's it going?
We had quite a lot of trouble trying to find that caravan, but we managed to find it, and not only that, everybody was dead. They fell into a sinkhole. We managed to go down and confirm it was the right one, and this is what we got in return. And he shows that there is this just very large pouch of fine tobacco that he's brought along the way. That was apparently a tobacco caravan.
What's up, Potato? So... interesting.
Also, I should mention that I've already added the 16 gold to your inventory that I mentioned at the beginning.
Okay.
But yeah, so they went and managed to find the fate of that one caravan, and they're all together with you, which presumably means now that you don't need to go meet them in Canyon City, or in Craterton, rather.
Right.
So,
I don't know about you guys. Well, I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad that you're safe. Glad you didn't meet the same fate as those poor people in that caravan. And it's good to see that you got something of value as well, Karam. I
Yes,
know
we
how
have
much you.
already taken some time to make sure that it was truly the tobacco we were looking for.
Oh, you sampled some of the spoils, eh?
Yes, and we returned most of it, of course. They don't have to know what we kept.
Sure. Well, I'm assuming we got paid for that job as well.
Yes, and they go ahead and they've taken up their part of the contract for being the two involved with it, and they take the extra third of that and give it to Cornelia for the money box for the company.
Okay.
And as Cornelia looks over, and you're still getting another piece of shot taken out of you, she looks over at Steele, who is sort of tapping this new sharpened gauntlet thing on a table and just making sure that it's stable. And he has this thing sort of tied around his arm with this shiv point at the end, and it sort of works a lot better with his accustomed fighting style anyway, with punching. And
So it's like
she looks over.
attached to his arm now.
Yeah, so he's sort of used simple tools and rope to sort of wrap it around his arm like the sharpened gauntlet thing.
I like that.
What Cornelia says. You thought any more about whether you want to join us, Steele? Come along for a while, see what the mercenary life has to offer? Yeah. Yes, ma'am, I think that's something I'm going to enjoy quite a bit. Just feels nice to have the freedom to choose what I'm doing. And if we're making money even like this, I know you said 16 doesn't sound a lot to you, but 16's a whole lot from where I'm looking. And Cornelia says, all right, then. And I got something for you. And out of her knapsack, she pulls out a bronze dog, one of those little bronze pins, and gives it to him.
One of the gang.
All right.
What's up, Fritas?
As you are getting the last bits of shot pulled out of your side, is there anything else you would like to do here or say in the meantime before moving on and getting bandaged up?
I don't know about you fellas, but I'm definitely gonna need a long rest after this. Steele and I have had quite the afternoon, as you can see.
Yeah, it looks it. All right, y'all, take some time, settle down, get some rest, and in the meantime, I'm gonna go do some work, see what I can pull together, see what we might be able to do along the way back to Low Ridge, figure out what we're gonna do next. I'll have some options in the morning.
All right.
Okay. So you, as your companions sort of disperse, but you have the room that you can go back to that you guys have paid for, or Canada paid for out of company funds. You and Steele sort of hang out in there for a little bit, and you lay down. You're pretty tired, but after it's still not usually the time you'd go to bed, and you have a few hours that, as the time goes on, you realize that it's just not working right now. You're not able to go to sleep right away for whatever reason. Maybe there's something on your mind or something else, but sleep's evading you at the moment.
Is it me and Steele in there, or Steele is?
Yeah, and Steele.
Steele, you awake?
Yeah.
You gotten any rest at all?
I think I'm mostly just kind of excited about the kinds of things we might be doing. I mean, I know this is all old hat to you, but I've never envisioned having a life like this, and I'm looking forward to see what comes next.
Hey Chris, what's up, man? Yeah. It is exciting at first. You just have to remember that as exciting as it may be, there's always the chance you won't make it back from a job. I got pretty close today. I'm glad you were there, though.
Okay, I wasn't gonna let anything happen to you. You know, took a chance on me and decided to make sure I was all right. Got to do the same for y'all. You said you've been close a few times. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, here and there. There's always a chance, you know. Somebody gets a lucky shot on you, or you make a mistake. Today was pretty fun, though. I'll be honest. Not often you get to stop a bank robbery. You'd think it'd be more common, but it was really just happenstance and luck this time.
Well, half stopped at least. They still got away with a lot of it.
Could have been a lot worse.
That's true.
Could have been a lot of people hurt.
As you're saying this, you actually hear a really heavy hum, hum, hum on your door.
I sit up. I sit up and yeah, go ahead.
And Steele goes over to the door and opens it and peers out a little and says, "Hello?" And there's someone on the other side says, "Hello, I am very excited to meet you. You must be the one that they call Givik, yes?" No, that's him. And he pulls the door open and you see that there is this very well-dressed dwarf man, and he looks right over at you, and he sort of tilts his head like he's never seen anybody that looks quite like you before. And then comes in and says, "Oh, very well. Hi there. I was hoping
Hi.
that you might have a little bit of time to speak."
What's your name, friend?
Oh, right. Excuse me. Actually, I need to look this up real quick, just to confirm. Yeah, my name is Galdenson, Angriff Galdenson. It's funny to hear that because most people
That's awesome,
don't
Chris. Good
ask me
job.
that anymore. Anyway, I am the mayor of this fine place, and I wanted to approach you and tell you how appreciative I am that you took some time to take initiative where others did not, and go out and do some work that was helpful to my people here. Thank you so much. And he reaches out and just grabs your hand and just forcefully shakes it.
I shake it back. Say, no problem, sir. Like I was just telling my friend here, sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, or depending on your outlook, the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes, well, I'm glad it was the former in this case. So, I understand you're a mercenary, is that right?
That's correct.
Excellent. I am prepared to give you an offer that I think you'd be the perfect kind of candidate for.
What would that be?
I would like you to track down that giant lumbering fool and his little goblin friends that got away and bring back all the goods that were stolen from the bank. And I can assure you, I can pay you very well for your services.
Well, it's definitely something I'd have to discuss with the group. We're a team here. It's not just myself.
Right, but you're hardened mercenaries. I mean, you could just you could do this pretty quickly, I assume. I mean, you could just leave tonight, right?
If everyone's ready, then yeah. I mean, we are in the business of making money, after all.
Excellent. Well, let's go. Let's find them.
I just look at Steele kind of expectantly, like this guy is very eager.
So Steele sort of just shrugs and is going along with whatever you want to do.
All right, Steele, I say let's go find the others and get this job done.
Right. So as you
have I like rested enough at all to get any like HP back?
No.
Dang it.
You're still at the 18 or so. Yeah.
Okay.
So, where would you like to look for the others as Angriff is coming along with you? And as you go out the door, you notice that he has several people that have sort of traveled with him. It looks like they're his bodyguards.
Are they also dwarves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a man and a woman.
Do we have any means of I guess we don't have any like means of communication between the group.
No such thing as radios.
Yeah, I pull out my cell phone. I look to Steele and I say, "Hey, do you recall where they said they might be going?"
I don't exactly know. You still know this place a whole lot better than I do. I've just seen the places you took me around for shopping.
Honestly, don't remember if they said they were going anywhere. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go assume that they're in town. And go up to the entrance of the Undercity. Like, I'm assuming we're coming up
Right.
by the saloon.
Yeah, you can come out of any area of the Undercity that you'd like. Which one on your which quadrant?
Be the fourth or third, depending on how you're
Third
looking
one.
at it.
Or the fourth. Yeah, that's right. I got you. Yeah, you can go up there. So as you come up around the saloon area, you see that it's actually dusk at this point, and sun's gone down far enough that it's just going to be light for maybe 30 minutes or so more. And
The sun's only going to be up for 30 minutes, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you're coming up out of the Undercity, from where you are, it's pretty clear to you that over at the sheriff's station, there is a very large gathering of people kind of surrounding this the jailhouse slash sheriff station. It looks like a lot of people that are sort of just angrily mumbling and yelling about "Let us have him," that sort of thing, and just maybe a crowd of 20 to 30 people.
Do I see any of the others over there? I mean, I'm imagining I would be able to spot Karam from a far distance.
Yeah, so you see that these people are all around the edges of the sheriff's station and presumably out in the front as well, where the doors actually are. There might even be a bigger crowd on that side, but from where you are, you don't see any of your companions.
Okay. The mayor is still with us, I'm assuming.
Yes, he sort of looks over there and. Ugh.
Say, what's going on over there, Mr. Goldenson?
Well, as you can imagine, there's a lot of people that are very upset, as am I, that money has been lost, their goods have been lost, things that they've entrusted to the bank, which is one of my businesses. Speaking of which, let's be sure that we don't get me too close to that at this very moment.
I'm assuming that money wasn't insured then?
Well, it's really semantics at this point, isn't it? I mean, you've got...
Oh, you're saying we're the insurance.
You catch on fast.
Okay. Okay. Do we know which way the big oaf went?
Yeah, so you know that they went off to a sort of south from the area you're in. They went off to one of the agricultural areas, the farms in the south of here, and they had a stashed wagon there, and they went kind of south by southeast from that direction. Is the last place you saw them veer off toward.
Okay. Mayor, could you do us a favor if time is of the essence here? Steele and I can go ahead and when and if you see our companions, let them know where we are.
Oh, are you saying you're going to go out right away and try to get them? Well, I thought maybe you'd catch up with some of your squad, but I think that's...
Have you seen them around?
Well, I don't even know exactly what they look like. I just know what people have described you two as.
Hmm.
Yeah. But do they wear those pins like you've got there?
They do, yeah. We all have...
I can send some of my people out.
Yeah, if you want to let them know we got another job, they'll come running.
All right, good. And should we determine anything about anything I need to do in the meantime? Just I don't know how you work here. I mean, what's a good price that you would usually do for this kind of job?
Well, normally, I'd let Cornelia do all the talking as far as the job payment goes.
Well, I can just talk to her when I get the chance then.
That would probably be best.
Great. All right. Well, if you two think you can handle it alone, I mean, you took 2 of them out for us, so that works. All right. Go ahead, and I will.
You're the one
leave
that's
you to it.
telling us the time is of the essence here.
Well, of course it is. I just,
All right.
if you have as much confidence in yourselves as you seem to, then this is even a better arrangement than I could have imagined. If you want me to send somebody with you, I can.
Do you
One of
have
my people.
Do you have some people that you'd like to spare, or that you can spare? I know you're probably afraid of the growing crowd here. They seem very unhappy with you.
Well, yes, but it's a complicated issue on all fronts here, just like politics always is. Yes, and in fact, he looks over at 2 of his bodyguards and kind of determines whether he wants that. And it seems like he's kind of indecisive at the moment as to whether he wants them to stay with him or not, or wants to send one with you. So at this point, if you would like to request that, you can. It's sort of up to you whether you want an extra person that you don't know with you or not.
You know what, Mr. Mayor? I think we'll be okay. We'll take a little bit of time before we go. Seems like the sensible thing would be to try to find our friends if we can. Only thing
I suppose
we ask is that, we get paid at the end of the day. But
well, if you can get everything back in order, and I can do my best to make sure that you are well supplied and in good relations with me and the entirety of Greyford when you come back. I don't want to mess this up.
fair enough. And I guess I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go to the brothel. Because I'm assuming Jack is probably there.
Right.
Even though he got punched last time he was there.
All right.
I'm gonna head over to the brothel and see what I can see.
Okay. So sort of head up that way. You go over and see that there's sort of somebody's put up a chalk sign that says "Angry Mob Special Cell" out in the front of the brothel. There's a special going on as a result of just shrewd business practices, and there's actually kind of a crowd sort of dispersing into that direction as well. And as you're looking around to see if you can see Jack in this area, you don't see him, but you do see that Offgrim is nearby, just sort of hanging out at this corner here, watching everything play out at this corner of the butcher's shop.
Excellent. Okay, so I see Offgrim, and I go ahead and head towards him. I've actually had very little interaction with Offgrim.
I don't think you've talked to him at all in these 3 episodes so far.
I've only talked to him once. I remember thinking it was odd because I've technically known this character for longer than any of them, I think.
Yeah.
I say, "Hey, Offgrim, how's it going?"
Hey boy, it's quite a crowd we got here.
I wanted to, now that it's really just me, you, and Steel, excuse me, haven't really got a chance to catch up lately. It's been a crazy few days. We kind of went our separate ways on those last 2 jobs, but just wanted to check in with you and see how you were doing.
Fine.
Man of few words, I respect it. Where are the others?
Karum and Cornelia are in the station talking with the sheriff here. Not sure exactly.
Yeah, I figured I'd find him in the brothel, but seems like it's a little crowded at the moment.
There's a bit of an opportunity playing out here. We might have the option to be able to be the transport that takes Splick and his lackey out to Hangman's Trench and get paid well for it.
So I just got another offer from the mayor that sounds pretty lucrative, kind of along the same lines regarding the same incidents. Basically, the mayor wants us to track down the ones that got away and bring back the money that they stole.
This might be a one or the other situation. Well, I guess it's not true. I just heard that we were talking about splitting up our efforts a little bit more than we have before. You think that maybe we'd have the entirety of tonight? It's possible that we could send some of us to go out in the thing that you were offered, bring them back, give some satisfaction to these people that want blood, and also be able to do our job without people coming after us demanding blood of these as well.
I don't like splitting up the group, but I think you're probably onto something when it comes to that, just for the fact that we could get paid quite a bit in one night. I mean, we did it last time. Again, I got pretty hurt, but I think I'll be all right. Steele's eager to prove himself, I think, which worries me, but also is encouraging.
He'll learn. A few more bullets and he'll learn.
How are you thinking about splitting up the group?
That was your job offer. Figured you'd choose that. I'd recommend having at least 3 for that.
I agree. I'd like to keep Steele with me. I feel like we're bonding in a way.
Seems like he trusts you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Good in a pinch that way.
Definitely would like one more. Not gonna lie, we're going up against this ogre who, as dense as he is quite large and scary.
If you want me to come along, I'm not afraid of any man or beast, no matter the size.
I think that might work out pretty well, actually. Cornelia and Jack can do the escort. I'm assuming they're going to be shackled and well contained in a way that it won't be too risky.
I've seen a few mobs like this before, and assuming that things don't get too out of hand here, this could be going on all morning. So, if we can get out there, do this, and come back by the time that anything erupts out here, it might be advantageous.
Well, let's
Depends on
get
how far
going.
they've gone. Yes, well, I'll meet you out at the edge of town in just a moment. I'll go talk briefly with Cornelia, make sure she knows what we're doing without alerting everyone else.
Alrighty.
All right. As you go gather with Steele again and get over to the edge of town, it's a few minutes later as you describe what's happening with him, and Offman comes back, and this time he actually is. Well, you guys go and you're able to get 2 of the horses. If you want, you can get 3 of the horses that you guys are all sort of sharing right now, because Offman just sort of says, "Might as well take Jack's horse," kind of thing. So you
Okay.
can have 3 horses if you'd like.
Yeah, we might as well take all 3.
All right. So in your interface, there it is. I'm going to switch out some stuff.
Okay.
I can wait till later. So right now you're going to have 3 party members, 3 horses. Okay. So the way this will work is as a skill, the survival skill is used in tracking to be able to find the trails of people that you're trying to go after. If you want to do that, that is sort of a standard option. But if you have any other things or specifics of like, this is the thing I want to be doing as we're going, let me know and I might alter some of the difficulties of stuff. So is there any particular way you'd like to go about doing this?
Give me 1 second. My Chrome has like crashed.
Uh-oh.
I can't change any windows right now. That is not good.
Great Calamity all over again.
Okay. Should be good. Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, is there any particular way you'd like to go about doing this right now? Any specifics I should know about?
Specifics on going to
how you're
going to find
anything
these
I should know
people?
about other than like I just want to make a survival check for tracking. If there's anything specific you want me to know, this is the time to tell me.
Since I'm gonna be still a little tender from the last encounter, I'm gonna have Offgrim take the lead. And I'm gonna be in the middle, and then Steel can be either beside me or right behind me.
Okay.
Just letting them know, like, hey boys, just so you know, I'm gonna try to rest as much as I can while we ride. Just try to be on the lookout as much as possible. I'll keep my eyes open, obviously, but still a little tender.
Okay. So with that, I would like for you to make since you're having help with this, and you guys are all doing this together, just make a survival check with advantage. And in this case, let me see if Othgrim's gonna add anything in particular here. Yep, just make a survival check with advantage as you guys are basically trying to go across the plains, figuring out where this wagon would have gone in. And to start out, you're just sort of looking in the direction that you saw them disappear into to begin.
I got a 12 with advantage.
Okay. You guys travel in that general direction for a while, and the fortunate part is that after going a few hours out and just sort of blindly going along, you actually find a place where it looks like something particularly heavy broke off the wheel of a wagon at some point, and you see the shattered fragments of a wagon wheel. And a lot of people travel with wagons that have extra wheels connected to them so that they can replace them. And based on all the evidence in this area, you're able to tell with your survival check that at some point earlier, probably today before the winds blew this all apart so much, something particularly heavy broke a wagon. And so, as you look at that, you have a pretty good idea. I mean, this is the only real evidence you have that could potentially be leading you to where you should be going. So as the rut was developed from it going a little ways, it sort of gave you an idea of which direction the wagon was traveling, so you can continue to go that way. So,
okay.
As you're continuing to sort of figure out where these parts of the trails lead toward, because there's a lot of rocks and bumpy areas along that don't give a great, place where sand is very visible for where the trail would be. I need you to make another check with advantage.
Another 12.
All right.
Not doing great on the rolls.
Yeah,
I'm switching this dice out. Okay.
Not such a great amount of luck this time. You continue on, and you get to this place where there is a big area of rocks in the way that basically any wagon going this way would have had to have gone right or left, essentially, to go around these things, and it's quite a wide area that it cuts you off in either direction.
Okay.
So what would you like to do here?
I am going to go right.
Okay. You go on for a little while, and at this point you guys have traveled about 4 hours, 5 hours, and you get to this point that there is actually a stream ahead of you that's pretty wide, and it's a dead water stream, and it's probably about 15 feet wide, and it looks like the kind of thing that somebody might have trouble crossing, but going around it doesn't look like an option if somebody wanted to keep going in a forward direction, and it doesn't go into any particular other area that you can go beside, because it sort of just goes straight into a small sinkhole-ish area into the ground nearby. Right next to a big rock-facing wall of cliff and mesa.
Does it look like an ogre could cross it with no problem?
You can make a investigation check to see if you might be able to determine if that was, well, from what you can tell, maybe one could like jump over it, but it doesn't explain there's no wagon here, you know?
Yeah. Okay. How far along this path have we gone?
From the point that you changed from going right to going up to this point at that fork, you've gone maybe like an hour and a half. So at this point, let's see if you started at it. It's a little past midnight.
Well, it looks like we took the wrong fork in the road, fellas. I guess we need to turn around and go back.
Okay. So, as you say that, and you're still feeling pretty sore, Steele says,
I'm also getting a lot more tired now than I was before, but you think maybe it would... Are we really expected to find them all tonight? We might be able to track easier in the morning.
Yeah. If I can sleep, it would be nice to take a rest for the night.
all right. So, you guys...
So I'll get off my horse and start making camp.
All right. Do you want to do a long rest, which is going to be a period of about 6 to 8 hours, or would you like to do a short rest? The danger with not going too long without a long rest is that you could get exhausted, whereas a short rest will get you a little bit of hit points, but won't fulfill your needs of sleeping as much as you sleep as you should be getting.
I'm gonna go ahead and say we're gonna take a long rest.
Okay. All right. So, let me.
And as we sit down to camp, I'm gonna play a soothing song on my harmonica to get everybody lulled to sleep.
All right. So, that means that you're gonna get. Let's see. All right. So, using 2 of your hit die, you will be able to get all of your HP back. And when you get half of your total back, at the end of the long rest, you'll have 3. And you don't have any particular issues come up at night where there's any sort of creatures that attack you or anything. So in the morning, you get up, ready to go, and Steel looks over in the is looking. You see him sort of kneeling over the edge of the river here, and he beckons you over and points into the water, and you can see that down in the water it looks like there's just a spattering of a few copper and silver coins that have dropped into the water here.
Well, looks like we just needed a little rest, and we found some clues. I pick up the copper and silver and put them in a little baggie,
Okay.
like just
So-
in my little pouch.
Reaching into the water right away, the first thing you feel is immediately it's the kind of thing that because it's dead water, it's acidic, and the dead water out here is particularly acidic.
Oh, I probably would have known that though, right? So
yeah,
I shouldn't.
yeah,
I wouldn't
so-
have actually stuck my hand in that.
Right. You could find another way to sort of fish them out or dig them out with like a pole or something that's part of your camping gear.
Yeah, I just
And,
take a little branch and kind of scoop them out.
Yeah. And you see that even the acid is already sort of halfway eaten a lot through this stuff. So these things are not of any particular use anymore. They're just sort of pieces that used to be currency.
Do I look across the river? Do I see any signs of like tracks or anything like
You
that?
can't see anything that would indicate tracks right away because the edges here, instead of being sort of muddy necessarily, it's all sort of just rock that's slowly being eroded away by this stuff. So it looks like if somebody did go through here and it left any sort of muddy sand, it's sort of the wind has blown it since then. But your one piece of evidence so far that something happened here is that this stuff was sort of in the center, well, not in the center, sort of near to your edge of the this somewhat shallowish river.
Any ideas, either Steel or Offgrim, how we can get
Offgrim.
across this?
Looks and says,
We're not going to be able to take the horses across this, but if we found a place to hide them, we could leave them out here for a while. If we didn't do that, we'd have to just try to find some other area that we could further up the river that might be thinner that we could go on, but that could take a while.
I look around to the large rocks and the mesa, and do I see a place that we can tie off the horses, kind of hide them off the trail?
you can make a investigation check to find one.
Is that intelligence?
Investigation will be intelligence.
That's a 13.
Okay. You find a place that seems adequate, not the greatest, but a small little area that has, you could put a stake down that from the direction that you guys came, it would at least keep people from seeing that there are horses there.
Okay. Alright. Seems like this is as good a place as any right now. We have, we're kind of in a self-imposed time limit here.
All right. And how are you planning to cross the river? Do you just want to sort of rush it and try to get out on the other side?
I look around for any kind of like fallen trees or anything like that I can just kind of rope together, like a log, maybe like a couple of logs, and we can just kind of do a little makeshift raft. I know it's not that far or deep, but without getting us to our clothing or our skin any damage to it, I don't want to weaken ourselves. So
okay. Immediately as you look around, you don't see a whole lot of deadwood trees or anything like that around, but I can let you make a either an investigation check to just sort of look at the area, or survival check, or a perception check, whichever one you want to do, and tell you what the result is based on what you make and what you roll.
A 9.
Which check was that?
That was a survival.
Okay. You added your +2 bonus to it?
Yeah.
Okay. So with a 9, you look around. It's not looking like you're going to find any sort of deadwood trees or anything out here that would be really useful for that. Deadwood is something that a lot of times when people find it, they immediately just cut it down and take it, if it's somewhere at all nearby. But it's also a lot rarer in some parts of the wilderness than others. So nothing like that in particular that you find.
Okay. Well, looks like we might be taking our chances crossing this without anything to assist.
Okay. Do you guys find what you think is the, as far as you can tell, the sort of thinnest part that, for your purposes here, just going up the riverbed a little bit, and as you just sort of rush through, it goes up about to the top of your thighs for each of you as you're sort of rushing through, and by the time you get to the other side, I'll do this for each individual one of you. You only take 1 acid damage. Steel is going to take 2 acid damage, and Offgrim's going to take 4 acid damage.
Yikes.
All right. And Offgrim. All right. And you get to the other side, and you sort of just wipe off the excess with rags and things to make sure that there's no more of this acidic liquid just clinging to you. And you are on the other side and can continue to do your search on foot now. So, you can make another survival check with advantage because you're having help.
13.
Okay. All right. So, as you continue to look around, you're having still a bit of a hard time trying to make sense of where you should be going and what direction would make the most sense. But clinging to the wall and sort of staying near it, thinking that somebody that was traveling might have tried to stay sort of close to this particular area, that there's at least something on the other side of them. You follow it for a while, and it's about a few hours that pass, and you don't know that there's anything in particular that you could have looked for beyond what you did to get any more clues of where you're going, but you can make another survival check at this point.
Thank goodness. 19.
All right. As you're going along, you take a moment to just sort of stop and think about what would I be doing if I were trying to get to somewhere based on where we were, why I take this path and everything. And you look ahead and see that there is not tracks per se that are of use to you, but sort of landmarks that might be of a lot of use to somebody that's trying to navigate the terrain. And did I just lose you, or are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. And as you sort of try to think, essentially think like an ogre in as much as you could, you
Dumb myself down a little bit.
you find an area along the edge of the wall that has a few landmarks around that sort of make it a good area for, like, if you wanted to go in and out of this place where there was a lot of shade and there's a lot of places that somebody could hide. You start to think, well, maybe there's sort of a hiding place or a lair of sorts around here that somebody has found. And with that in mind, as you begin to search around, you actually find a cave entrance that seems fairly promising. It's definitely large enough for an ogre to get into. But you see, as you look into it, it has just a few winding corners that suggest that you couldn't see, whatever it leads to, you can't see from here. But it looks like this might be a path that some sort of ogre, or at worst, some sort of large animal might try to live in.
All right. This is the first place we found that looks promising, at least. I say we go ahead and investigate this spot.
Okay.
What do you think? Think an ogre can get in there?
Yeah, your companion seemed plenty convinced that that it could, based on the sort of 10 to 15 foot height interior of the entrance, and then beyond, where it sort of squeezes down a little bit and then it gets wider as well. So, with that, let me check something real quick.
Okay.
All right, how would you like to progress?
So I want to sneak in through the entrance, just kind of like hugging the wall of the cave, and kind of try to peek around the corners,
Okay.
I guess.
All right. So,
Do we have a map for this?
yes, we will in a moment.
Okay.
I'll have you make a stealth check to begin then. And do
Okay.
you want to just go in, all three of you, or one of you at a time?
I'm gonna kind of do the thing where I'll go to the corner and then I can signal them in as I clear the way.
All right. So, excellent. Just make sure I have what I need. All right. On the larger map, go.
Nice. Dang,
All right.
Ockgrim is beefy.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, did you make a stealth check already?
I did. It was a 13.
Okay. You added your proficiency, or I guess you don't have a modifier for that. Okay.
It was a
And
+4 for Dex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, if your dex is +4, then yes. Okay. Let me just check my reference here. Okay. So yeah, you go in and get about to this spot here. There we go. Make sure that this is all bolded. And as you sort of peek around the corner here, you don't see anything in particular but a rock wall on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after you've traveled a little ways into the curves, by the way. And the curves will be entry.
Okay.
And as you sort of beckon your allies onwards, they join you at these spots. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go ahead and go up to this wall here. Oops.
Okay. You can just control Z.
Yeah.
This wall here. Gotcha. All right. You get to this point and you begin to hear that there's actually somebody, some voices talking out in this area, and it's sort of echoing around. But as you sort of focus in on it, you hear somebody saying, "How much longer do you think we're gonna have to wait?" "Well, I don't know. I've never done this before." And there's just sort of some whispers, and people are just in general talking.
Okay. I'm gonna beckon them to come and join me.
All right. I will have you on their behalves. Let me make this a little easier on you. In the interface, I'm going to put their stat blocks nearer to you. Rid of those ones. Column break that. There we go. I'll put the rest under here. All right. So the first two will be on that next page. Will be the ones you need. I'm going to have you make a stealth check for each one of these individually. Steel
right.
has a +1.
It's an 8.
Okay. Nofgrim has a +1.
3.
All right. So.
Oh my gosh, the dice are failing me tonight.
Steel goes up here, sort of comes right around here into this little alcove, and he sees that there's a very tiny little tunnel here next to him that is not small, is not big enough for someone like you guys to fit in, but a small creature could sort of squeeze through it. And as Offgrim's going up here, he sort of kicks what looks like it's just been a bottle that somebody left out here, like they just dropped on the ground after they were done with it, a bottle of wine, and it sort of just clatters all over the place here. And as you listen, as that echoes through this entire area, one of these guys says, "What do you think? They're coming? I thought they were already in here." And someone else says, No, they're in here. And someone else says, "No, they're probably just trying to make us nervous because this is our first time meeting them."
Do I recognize either of these voices?
None of these voices.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So with that...
Well, then who is that back there? Well, I don't know, but I'm not giving up. I don't want... This might be a test.
So when I hear that, I'm gonna stop stealthing. And I'm gonna stand up straight and kind of compose myself. And loud enough that they can hear me, but I'm not yelling or anything. I'm gonna say, "Let's go, boys. Think it's this way." And I'm gonna motion for Steel and Offgrim to kind of follow me and kind of flank me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go straight for the area that I hear their voices.
All right. So you sort of hear them. It seems to be in this area, and as you do this, these guys, Offgrim seems like he's questioning what's happening here, but Steel seems to trust you a whole lot. And as they go on either side of you there, you see that in basically just a bunch of canvas folding chairs that have been set out here in almost like a circle, there's a bunch of goblins that are just all over the place, sitting around like they're waiting for some sort of meeting.
Okay. As I round the corner and I see them, I'm gonna say, "Oh, well, there you are.
I didn't even know we were doing Okay. Hi. So this goblin one stands up and says, "Hi. My name is Dupe. I know that's very close to one of your names, but I promise it was just the way they did it. I had nothing to do with the choice." And this other guy's behind him, sort of this wider face and a bunch of teeth that are sticking out all over the place, in just this terrible set of sharp teeth. Says, "Oh, come on, buddy, sit down. They don't want to hear this. They're men of renown and respect." And he sits down.
Say that's okay, Dupe. It's nice to meet you. Although we don't really have time for small talk, as you probably know.
All right, and as you, so you say that, and they all just sort of quiet down, and this one over here, also let me just make a note here of G1, Dupe, G6. This one stands up, it's a little goblin lady, and she says, "If I may, it is an honor, a great honor, to be here in the first place. I'm so sorry that they murdered your friends, but we will be the greatest recruits you have ever seen. And my name is Bat."
Bat.
And
very nice to meet you.
yeah, so when do we get started? One of the other ones says.
Were any of you a part of the last job? Or are you all new recruits?
They all sort of just look at each other and say, and a few of them tilt their heads in an odd way, and another one says, "All fresh-faced and ready to go."
Hmm.
And you then hear a door open from somewhere else that echoes throughout the caverns.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I turn to Bat and I say, also, in regards to the killing, no hard feelings at this time. Business is business. Things happen. We'll work it out later.
Okay, so they all just sort of, like, she nods vehemently, and her ears are particularly large, and they just flop around.
Okay.
And as you hear these footsteps, it sounds like they are coming from this direction over here.
From E?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I say, where's your commander?
Again, they sort of like tilt their head almost in, like, all of them tilt their heads in opposite directions. And
Like a little dog.
And G7 over here says, wait a minute. Who are you? I thought you were. And you hear these footsteps coming. And right out here, you hear, I need to see which exact one it is. Just a moment. All right. You see one of these goblins comes around the corner. You hear his voice right away. He says, "I'm very sorry for that. I had to take care of some business." And he's wiping his hands of something, and he comes out and immediately looks up, looks at this group that's looking somewhere, and looks over at you guys. And this is one of the goblins that was on the back of the fort that you guys were fighting just a day ago. He looks over at you, and this is the one that he currently has a big bandage wrapped around his nose, and he looks over and says, "What? What? Hold on, you." And
So,
what would you like to do?
so I don't move, and I'm still standing basically at attention with authority. He also would not have recognized me because I'm not wearing my mask anymore.
Yeah. So he sees steel.
Yeah. I say, yeah, I figured it was steel. So I say, "Oh, you okay there? What happened to your nose?"
No. You're wearing the same clothes. Recruits! Get them!
I hold up my hand and I say, "Recruits, sit down."
All right. Make a persuasion check.
$25.
So he says, "Recruits, get them!" And they all just stand up, confused, and they're like reaching out to like grab these little flintlocks and things at their sides. And you say, "No, recruits, sit down," and they just immediately sit down again. And as
do I remember this guy's name? The JB guy.
Jalb. You remember hearing them say
Jalb.
Jalb.
Okay. As they sit down, I say, "Jalb, right?"
Yeah. And he has his now he has a shotgun in his hand, and he's just sort of like twitching and looking around, and he's very confused by this situation, and he says, "Yeah."
"I remember you from yesterday."
"Well, that makes two of us."
"So you passed the test.
Huh?
Although you didn't make it out with the gun that we wanted. What happened?"
What are you talking about? What makes you think you can come in here and act like you're Splick?
Splick?
And as you sort of say that, again, for this last time, these recruits sort of turn their heads and say, "Wait, he doesn't even know about Splick? He is an imposter!"
I say Splick's not in charge.
As you say that one more time, do a persuasion check.
$12.
What was it?
12.
Doing some group insight.
I wasn't saying it like Splick, like I didn't know who I was. Like I was saying Splick as in like Splick's not in charge. Like it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who Splick is.
I gotcha. Okay, in that case, make one more. Actually, this is going to be a deception check. So
yeah, that makes more
make a
sense.
deception check.
7.
Remember, you're adding your charisma modifier to it.
Well, I have a deception is +5.
All right, let me check real quick.
But I wouldn't add charisma and deception, right? It would be separate.
Yeah, if it's out there, then it means it would be it's actually including your proficiency bonus and everything. So yeah, +5. All right. Yeah, so you sort of try to tell this lie, and you can immediately tell that did not go well. And it looks like these guys are getting ready to attack.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
So, as I say that, I'm also going to draw my pistol, my revolver. And I say, and I point it at, what's his name?
Jalb.
Jalb. And I say, as I said, Splick's not in charge. Drop the shotgun.
Okay, so because you're outnumbered, you're going to do this with disadvantage, but I want you to make an intimidation check.
Was that charisma?
It is.
13. Oh, disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 13.
Okay. Let me... All right. You say that, and then Jalb immediately says, "Oh boy, well, you picked the wrong day to test whether I was going to be a successful heir to my good friend Splick. Time to solidify it, boys. And I need you to roll initiative."
Natural 20.
Okay, so add with a 20. What's your dex mod? Is it 4?
Yes.
All right, so 24. Initiative is one of those things that it doesn't have a critical thing. It's just a very high number. And go ahead and do it for Ofgrim and Steel. They both have a +1 for this.
14 for Steel. 13 for Ofgrim.
13 for Ofgrim, 14 for Steel.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, this is skirmish music time if you've got any.
Yep, I was just looking at that. It almost worked.
It almost worked. But imagine if it did.
I was close.
Yeah.
I was
attempt.
bound to convince these, bound and determined to convince these folks that I was in charge.
All right.
Which, based on my stats, was honestly, I think the play to go with. The dice just are not in my favor tonight.
That's all right. Okay. So, you are the first that's able to respond. What would you like?
So immediately I've already taken aim at Jaub.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and fire at Jaub.
All right.
Which is a revolver is a +7 to hit. That's a 16.
Okay. That should hit. Let me just check something. Yes. That'll hit, and you can roll your
Okay.
damage.
2d8. Five plus 5. Yeah. So 10.
All right. Oh, you added your bonus, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so 10 total. All right.
And then
And what else would you like to do?
as a bonus action, Can I go in and grapple?
So a grapple
Or is that considered
an
an action? Okay.
Yeah. You do have the option with your bonus actions down here at the bottom of your thing. If you wanted to do another attack, you could with your short sword, or you could attempt after you, because you can still use your movement anytime on your turn. You can move 30 feet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You could also attempt to hide, or if you just wanted to run, you could just dash, which means you're running an extra 30 feet after your other 30 feet.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and move and attack with my short sword as well.
All right, so you have to get right up next to whoever you're attacking.
Yeah, I'm still going for job.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, you could do it right up there, and roll for your short sword attack. See if you hit.
Nine.
Okay. So you swing in with this piercing weapon. He actually manages to take this shotgun and sort of block the edge of your sword there before it hits him and push it away.
Okay.
And you have 5 more feet of movement if you want to get into any other spot. But of course, if you move out of his range,
I'll get an attack or an opportunity attack.
Mm-hmm.
No, I won't move anymore. So I'm assuming we're just kind of locked in this sword versus shotgun blocking motion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The good news is it's not a sawn-off shotgun, so he'll still have disadvantage trying to shoot you from right next to you, which is exactly what he tries to do. So he does that and then tries to pull it back around as he says, "Shot you once before, do it again." And what is your AC?
My AC is 15.
Bad news. He meets that. And all right. It's gonna be, you take 11 damage as it gets you in the same spot he got you before. Right, 29 minus 11. But that is his turn. And then it is Steel's turn. What would you like Steel to do?
Do all of these goblins have weapons?
Looks like they have like little firearms for the most part.
Little firearms?
Not. So they have. Sorry, I meant flintlocks. So nothing too fancy.
Okay. So Steel.
I do recommend, just as part of his thing, that raging is the thing that's going to give him.
That's kind of what I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's gonna go ahead and enter rage.
Okay.
And he's gonna go after he's going straight for dupe.
All right. Okay, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, and what is he going to attack with?
So he can do a
So he has the multi-attack action,
Multi-attack,
which means that,
yeah.
that
So-
in general, that just means it'll tell you which specific things he can do more than one of.
Yeah, so he's gonna go ahead and swing at Dupe with his Scorpion Claw gauntlets.
Okay.
It is
So it's a +6 to hit.
+6. That is a 15.
That'll hit. And he's going to roll a d8 and add 7 to it.
10.
10 total?
Yep.
All right.
That's just
This
1d8? Yeah, I see. Okay.
Okay. And
And
this
then
creature, since he did his
he's-
gauntlet, is
yeah.
now grappled by him.
Okay.
If he succeeds, well, let's see.
Well, if he doesn't succeed in a saving throw.
Yeah. So 1 second. He does not succeed in a saving throw. All right. So he is grappled by him. Let me just make the
As a-
DC clear on that.
As a bonus action, can Steel just turn toward the whole group of other goblins and like do like a mighty orc roar at them?
Try to intimidate.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll let him try it. So make an
I mean, he's like
intimidation
huge.
check.
I mean, he's pretty jacked compared to them, right? Like goblins
Yeah,
are
he-
pretty small.
Yeah, he has
Um,
a +1 to intimidation right now.
Okay. So a dirty 20.
Okay. He does this just big roar, and all of these guys will have disadvantage at the moment for their next thing.
Okay.
Okay. And cool. And I assume you're going to keep him where he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what would you like Offgrim
so
to
that's
do? Offgrim is
Offgrim.
also a barbarian. So he has rage as well.
And he has a sawed-off shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the benefit of that is he can get up point blank to somebody and he doesn't have disadvantage. Also, because it's a shotgun, I use a rule that I made up, a homebrew rule, where if you use a shotgun, you can actually hit, if you can see both of them, you can target 2 creatures that are within 5 feet of each other
Okay.
with one shot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Offrim's gonna go kind of for G6 and G7.
Did you want him to rage as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Right up there. Okay. So he will have a +3 to this.
To hit.
Yeah. And so are you using his, since he's raging, using his frenzy, which is kind of like a specific multi-attack where he can make...
Yeah. Offrim makes
one-
2
one
attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one can be the ranged one. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
one can be with a shotgun. Sounds good.
Yep. So that was a 13.
13 to hit.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. So, somehow, in the even though these are recruits and they're not as skilled and they're a little bit green, they are still nimble goblins. And he does this, his first attack with the shotgun, he just sort of blasts right between the two of them as they move apart, just enough that it hits the wall behind him. But he does have a second attack.
Okay. So can he attack twice with his shotgun? Is it like a double
No
barrel
more than
sawn-off?
one ranged. No more
Okay,
than
so
one
he's
ranged
gonna
attack.
take out his great axe then.
Mhm.
And go for G7.
All right, that's a +6.
That is a 17.
That one will hit, and he will do 2d6 plus 6 damage.
So 7 plus 6 is 14?
Yes. That's 13.
13, sorry.
That's all right. And let's see. Okay, yeah, he takes his hammer and just crushes this goblin's head.
Cool.
Or his axe, rather. Takes an axe and splits this goblin's head.
Great.
All right. And that was G7 that apparently I didn't add to this. So, okay. Well, doesn't matter now because it's gone. All right. Cool. And do you want him to move anymore? He moved 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He can move one more space.
Yeah, he's just gonna get like kind of right here in the middle.
All right. Okay. And then Jalb already went, so it's now Bat's turn. So Bat tries to, with disadvantage, use a scimitar. And misses very miserably against Offgrim. Number 2 over here tries to shoot Offgrim and misses with a flintlock pistol.
Okay.
Number 4 tries to shoot. Actually, it's also going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Go over there. That was 2. Yeah, 4. Tries to shoot as well, but because there's a disadvantage for these guys for just the moment. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And 5. So it's the same thing. Tries to shoot. This one, let's see. What's Offgrim's AC? 16? Okay, this one actually does manage to hit Offgrim, so he is going to take...
Is that piercing damage?
Yes, this will be
Because he
piercing,
does
so
have resistance.
Yep, so I'm going to half the amount.
Okay.
So he would have taken 8, but he's only going to take 4. Also, Offgrim was down by a little bit earlier. I forgot to add it. Because you went down by 1, Steel went down by 2, Offgrim went down by 4. So that's what it would have been for the acid damage from earlier in the river. He goes down by...
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Okay, there we go. And cool. And then that was...
Wait, I went down by...
It was just 1 more point. Because earlier when
I was
the
at
acid
18.
went... Oh, okay.
So it'd be 17.
You were at 18? Hold on. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what that just did. Oh, I see what I did. Good catch.
I think you took...
Yeah, I see what happened. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And...
So they're running.
Yeah, and then number 1 is right there next to Steel, and it tries to attack him. And...
He's grappled.
Yeah, he's attacking with disadvantage anyway. He's grappled. You can still attack while you're grappled, you just can't, unless you're restrained, then you can't attack. But right now, grapple just means speed is 0. And you move with your grappling. And then 3 tries to shoot Offgrim. And this one actually is going to hit as well. So I'm having it, so Offgrim only takes 6 of the damage instead of 12.
Did Offgrim get any kind of opportunity attack since they fled?
No, because those ones were not within 5 feet of him that ran.
Okay.
All right. So that was that one. And then it is Givik's turn. You're still right there next to Job. Actually, give me 1 second. You hear this door opening out from behind you as someone else is seeing what's going on, but they're not going to react right away other than to just open the door. So this is going to be Dop. Not Dupe, but Dop.
Dupe and Dop.
Okay. And you hear also a "Huh?" from somewhere else.
Wonder who that
All
could
right.
be.
Okay, so
All right.
okay, now it's your turn.
All right. I'm gonna take another swing at Job.
Okay.
That is 11.
Not quite enough to hit this guy.
Okay.
That would be your main attack with your short sword. I assume that you're using your short sword.
Yeah.
So you have the option of
I use the wrist rocket.
Yeah, so either one you can use. Either one of those as your bonus action as well for your second part of your attack.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go wrist rocket.
Okay.
So that is, what is that, a 6 or a 9? So 12.
Okay, so yet again he sort of ducks under the short sword, and then as you come across with your wrist rocket as well, he sort of holds up that he has this metal bracer just right there on his stuff. And in fact, it looks like it's just actually a nice thick bangle that some lady in Greyford owned that he took out of the goods, and he holds it up and blocks your wrist knife with it.
Do I have inspiration after my long rest?
You don't usually get inspiration just by finishing a long rest unless you have some sort of thing that some sort of benefit that you.
So under my actions, it's inspire. Each creature of your choice within 60 feet of you, including yourself, gains an inspiration die of a d6.
Yeah, so that's an action you. Yeah, that's an action you can take at. And in general, yeah, if you want, just because you're still getting used to this, we can say that before you went into here, you inspired everyone. So if you want, you can have of inspiration for each of your guys right now if you want to try to add that to that roll, because potentially you could hit with that roll if you add a d6 to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I did that because.
All right, yeah, not a problem. You're still learning. So what was the roll that you made with the wrist
was
rocket?
a 12.
Okay, and roll a d6.
And I rolled a 5.
Okay, this one will hit then. So as it sort of slides off and it's off of this bracer, you're going in for the to get him at this point, and you will roll 1d4 plus 4. Actually, it'll just be 1d4 as a bonus action with this thing because when you do two weapon fighting like this, you only add the modifier to the first.
Okay, so that's just 4 then.
Okay. So the good news is that's enough for this guy. So it goes off and bounces off of his bangle there, and then gets him right in the chest. As he says, "Ah, at least it wasn't the nose." and slides up.
Okay. So I'm
You still
gonna,
have 30 feet of movement.
yeah, so I'm actually not gonna move. I'm gonna use,
You've used your action
My-
and your bonus action so far
yep.
on this turn.
Oh, so I can't steady aim then.
Yeah, so steady aim is specifically if you're not going to move at all, you can use a bonus action
Yeah.
to give yourself advantage on something. The
Right,
good
but I
thing
don't
with
have a
that
bonus
for
action
rogue-
left.
Yeah, you just used it for 2-weapon fighting. The second one is your bonus action.
Okay.
But in the future, that's a really great way to get your sneak attack bonus to give yourself advantage that way.
Mm-hmm.
If
Okay.
anybody had been next to your enemy just now, you would have gotten it. But all right, cool. So do you want to move in that case now?
I'm going to... Yeah, actually, I'm gonna move here
Okay.
and kind of take cover because I heard that door open.
All right. And then it will be Steel's turn.
So Steel is going to go ahead and try to finish this guy off. Since he has him grappled, what is the protocol for like attacking a
So-
grappled person?
He can move. There are some times where the grapple condition will give you advantage, but that's under specific. I think that's a particular feat. Let me look this up real quick. Condition ends the grapple. So right now, basically, it just can't escape from him.
Okay.
Until it tries to make a save to do so, or a athletics check against him to do so. It just can't escape. It's normal for making attacks and everything otherwise.
So
And if Steel wants to move, he can move at half of his speed while having this guy drag him.
So can he... Basically, I want him to move to this wall right here
Mhm.
with this guy and like smash him against the wall.
Okay, so I will have him make a. I'll have him make a athletics check because this guy's small
Okay.
enough to conceivably be able to be flung against this wall. So have him make an athletics check.
So that's... Ugh. Oh, he's gonna go ahead and use his inspiration.
Okay, so you add a d6 to it.
Okay, so that would be 12 with the... Or no, 13 with the d6.
Okay, let me compare this guy's attempt to resist this. Okay, Steel runs forward, just tries to like smash this guy into the wall, but this goblin just like pokes him in the eyes and
No.
jumps up on his arms and like rolls over to the side,
Okay.
and so he doesn't quite get it there.
Dang it. Okay. 1 second.
But yeah.
Okay.
All
Since
right,
he's
yeah, so,
still in his...
doing a special thing like that is like trying to do a sort of special maneuver that's not quite a standard attack because this multi-attack is really specific. That would be considered as attack for this one.
Okay.
What else would you like to do with Steel right
now? He can't really do anything else but move, right?
Yeah, he'd still provincially provoke an opportunity attack by
Yeah,
doing
he's
so.
He's gonna stay there and deal with Dupe.
All right. And cool. So Offgrim.
Offgrim is going after Bat now.
With what?
He is still raging.
Yeah, you can do your if you have multiple attacks, like as part of multi-attack or frenzy or whatever it is, you can do them in any order.
He's already got his great axe out,
Hmm.
so he's just gonna swing with his great
All
axe, and that is a natural 20 plus 6.
Okay, so you're gonna roll 4d6 and add the 6 to it.
So that is a wait, yeah, a 21 damage.
Okay, so this female goblin with these like big ears that are just like flopping around, he swings his axe, just slices her head off, and it goes like flying over this way.
Kind of feel bad. I kind of liked her.
All right.
But this wasn't me, so it's fine. It was Offgrim. He was enraged.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
And he also has a second attack that he could use he could do another weapon attack if he wants. If he gets up close to something.
Yeah, he's got movement still, right? He's gonna go over to Dupe.
All right. Okay.
He kind of sees what happens to Steel, and he's gonna take a swing.
All right.
At Dupe. And that is an 18 plus whatever his, so plus 6.
That will hit.
And that is 2d6. That is 6, 7, plus 4. So that's 11 damage.
Okay. Real quick, let me check something.
The dice like off
because he's raging, he has that +2 bonus as well. So it's 4 plus 2, so it's +6 altogether. So
okay.
11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was against Dupe, and Dupe's already pretty damaged. So he just splits this guy right down the middle. And Dupe goes and flies apart into 2 pieces. All right. And then it's Whip's turn, way over here. So Whip, seeing this, takes one more shot at Offgrim. Misses, and 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. Goes through these tunnels that he finds over here.
Okay.
And Jumbo, this ironically particularly really thin goblin comes.
Jumbo.
He's been taking care of himself. He comes out there, tries to shoot at Offgrim, misses, says nope,
and goes right back into the corner.
15, 20, 25, 30. You can go right there. All right. And all right, number 5. Similar idea. They are not rolling well. And he goes running this way. And number 3. Tries to get into this door. Manages to reach up, sort of hang onto the latch, open it just a little bit, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and goes into this room. Now, the next thing you see from where you are is that something flies by your particular column here with a tiny little fuse on it, and it looks very similar to something you saw just yesterday. It splats onto the ground over here, and a stink bomb affects this area. So,
Okay.
let's see. All right. Yes, you are technically also in the stank.
In the stank.
So I
Great.
need you to, on your turn, you'll have to do something.
Okay.
But, all right. And
By something, I mean, you mean a Constitution check?
yeah. So, okay. And Bugtum comes out and just sees that there's a cloud of smog out here, yellow smog, and just tilts his head and says, "Oh, what's happening?" And it is your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming I'm doing a Constitution check.
Yes, you are.
Great. 15.
Okay, yeah, you managed to hold in from vomiting, and you do not suffer the poison condition right now. So, what would you like to do?
So can I, since I'm in cover right now, if I move, can I do a sneak attack on Dop?
Yeah, if you can use your bonus action, that's one of your benefits as a rogue, that you could hide and then go do that and get that bonus against him.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
under your cunning action, you can usually hiding is an action for most classes except for rogues.
Okay. So I'm gonna hide and like basically sneak around this corner because I hear him coming.
Yeah, so you are unseen right now. Let me just for stealth, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Dang, 7.
Okay. All right. So actually, technically, you are in an area that is obscuring you. So roll that one more time, see if it goes any higher.
Nope.
Okay. So you get right over here, and you think you're pretty sneaky. You're using the fog to your advantage, trying to beat this guy at his own game. But you can make your attack. You're not going to get the bonus because he hears you coming.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and swing with my sword that I already have out.
Okay.
That is...
You do have an offhand sword as well. You have 2 swords on you, so you can so you can get a little bit more damage than the wrist rocket for your second attack if you want.
Okay, so it's an 18 for the offhand short sword.
That will hit.
So that is 1d6. Wait. Yeah, 1d6 plus 4 for the first one, so that is 8.
Okay. 8 damage?
Yep.
Okay.
And the wrist rocket would be bonus action, right?
Yeah, or you can use your other offhand short sword, which would do potentially more damage.
Yeah, that's what I meant. This is the offhand short sword. Would be a bonus action. And that is a 15.
That'll hit.
Okay. And that is only
And you're just gonna roll a d6.
1d6. That's a 3.
All right. So you sort of just stab him twice, even though he hears it coming, but he still can't block you very well. And in rapid succession, and he just tries to back up a little bit, but is still taken off guard that you're actually able to hit him. And it is Steel's turn. He needs to make a con saving throw.
Okay. Come on, Steel.
He has
should have
a
pretty good
+5
constitution.
for this. Yep, +5.
Yeah, he's got a dirty 20 then.
Okay, he is good. What'd you like him to do?
He is going to dash out of this area, this smoke fog thing.
5:30. He literally would have to dash to get out of it, which would be his action. Unless he goes another direction. He could do 5, 10. 5,
Yep,
10,
I want him to
15,
go this
20.
way. Yeah, go. He can see that this like hallway is clear, so he would probably go that way.
All right. He can go there, and he can go one more extra space if you want him to.
Yeah,
Right,
he's gonna
so
go
right.
like towards the door.
All right. And we will fix that there. Okay. And that was standard movement, so if he has any actions he can do, this is an opportunity for him.
Bonus would be...
I think their only bonus really is rage for
Yeah.
these guys. Yeah.
Nah, he's
already
good.
Yeah. All right.
He's good to be out of
And-
the fog. So now it's off Grim,
Off grim.
and he is gonna make a con save.
Mhm.
Wait, is this... So saving throw is +7.
I reckon.
So he only gets an 11.
Okay, he starts to. Actually, sorry, he has advantage because he has advantage against poison because he's a dwarf.
Oh.
So, yep.
So he still only gets an 11.
Okay, he throws up anyway.
What's up,
And-
Raccoon?
He's going to have the poisoned condition right now, so he has disadvantage on everything.
So he is poisoned. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So for this next turn, he is poisoned. Where would you like him to go?
He is also gonna go. He sees Steel kind of go that way, and he follows him.
There we go. All right.
I'm just chilling, playing some D&D. How about you? Doing okay?
Okay, so Offgrim runs out of this smoke bomb fog and sort of coughing and sputtering with some vomit in his beard. And then it is G2's turn. So this guy, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, just goes through this tunnel and is getting out of there. And 4, 30, 20, 25, 30, and 5, 15, 20, 25 can only go that far. These guys. There we
Need to
go.
message me about a thing? Do it.
Okay. And number 3, who knows what happened to that person? Goes over there. And Dop. Dop is right next to you. He grabs a sword of his own, tries to stab you with it. Does not manage to hit you. And then he sort of just stands there and tries to guard, preparing for your next. And Wugtub just comes over here and doesn't understand what's happening. And he's just sort of looking around in this fog that he can't see through. Let's see. And so it is Givik's turn now.
Okay. He's gonna make take a couple more swings at Dop over here.
All right.
So the first one.
Actually, you're still in the fog, so I need you
Oh.
to make one more Constitution saving throw.
Oh yeah, forgot. Stupid fog. 18 plus whatever,
Yeah, you should be good.
plus 2. So dirty 20.
It just stings your eyes a little bit, but that's all.
Okay, and then I'm swinging. So that is a first hit is a 23,
Okay, that'll hit. And
and that
what is your
is
damage?
2d6. No, 1d6 plus 4. That is a 7.
All right, how do you want to take Dop out?
I'm gonna dop him right on the head. So I just kind of like my first swing not so much a swing, but just like I'm thrusting forward, like kind of trying to also get toward him and out of the fog. So like as I'm like going forward and thrusting and trying to get out of the fog, I just kind of like impale him and then like fall over him.
All right. Sure.
Because it's stinging my eyes and I'm kind of panicking a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you've taken a lot of damage. All right. Cool. So you get on out of there, and you have 25 more feet of movement.
Okay. So I'm actually going to go up here to this room. Before I do that, I'm just gonna, since I'm like kind of on dop, I'm just gonna check him for like a key or anything, just in case.
Okay, yeah. You actually, searching through him real quick, you find that right there on his neck, he's got a chain with a pretty large key. That's
okay. I take that and I go towards C room.
All right.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yeah, you can actually go around corners in my version of it, so we're good.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, cool. So it is Steele's turn. And of course, these tunnels like this
you can't
are the
fit in
kinds of
that?
things that, no, you guys are too large to fit through those.
Okay, well, Steele is, since he can't go that way, he's going straight through this door.
All right, 5, 10, goes over to it, and this one is locked, but he might be able to break this thing down with a strength check unless he goes and tries to find the key to this place.
So he is also, would he still be like in rage?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have like, you guys have only done like
So
3 or 4 rounds, so yeah.
natural 20.
Okay, he
for a
just
strength
sort of
check.
grabs this door and just and just pushes it on its hinges.
He's
and
also
this thing-
raging and kind of really mad that he's like kind of coughing a little bit from this stupid poison fog, and he's done. He's ready to get away from it.
So he just sort of throws that door off its hinges there, and inside you see there is a just stockpile of goods, presumably from the bank. There's a lot of those potato sacks and things, and it's all just, it looks like somebody's been like swimming in this stuff.
Like Scrooge McDuck.
Yes, Scrooge McDucking it.
Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna go in here and start. He knows the job, so he's gonna go in here and start kind of collecting this as much as he can.
All right, so he gets that far. And Offgrim, what would you like him to do?
Offgrim's just following because he can't go the other way, so he's just gonna go ahead and follow Steele into this room, kind of amazed at his brutal strength. He just rips this door off the hinges.
Perfect. All right. And
But also, he's kind of like, yeah, I could have done that too. It's fine.
these guys are starting to dash through there as they're squeezing through.
Are they trying to get out of here?
Presumably. And then it's gonna stay there. All right, Wugtub, who's sort of in this area too, he's very used to this kind of thing, just starts wandering through here. But,
Okay.
5, 6, 30, 5, 40. Hello? And it is Givic's turn.
So I hear hello, and I'm gonna turn around and make a performance roll.
Okay.
So that is a 15. And I'm gonna say, "Walked up, get back in your room."
All right, so we're repeating one of the goblin's voices that you've heard before. You go ahead and do that and says, "Oh, sorry."
I do not want to face this guy by myself.
All right, going back to room. That's what we've got Rugtub doing. All right, and you have 30 foot of movement.
Dang it! I should have told him to leave, like, the whole thing. Dang it! I panicked. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in here and just check this room out real quick.
All right. So as you go in, you look around, you see that there's a lot of like workbenches and things here, including a just like really crudely drawn schematics written in Goblin of like with arrows and things going all over the place in circles and weird drawings that you don't quite understand, but with words like stink, fuse, question mark, and and from what you gather, Dop was apparently some sort of goblin engineer of sorts who was trying to make this sort of thing. But you also see that he apparently was responsible for all the plans for the bank, because there's just a bunch of parchment that's hanging up on the wall here by these little clips that and pins that have been stuck into it that have crudely drawn pictures of like the fort on Wugtup's back and them fitting into a box and being shipped over to to here, and then the sawing their way out of this box, and their entire plan was just basically a bunch of stick figures.
I love it. Okay. I'm assuming I don't see anything else of value in this room, so I realize that I'm not in the right room.
Yeah, so that's just a cursory a glance around. If you want to, as an action on your next turn, you can do a more insightful investigation of things if you want.
Okay.
But it is Steel's turn, so you already have Steel that he's going out and doing his thing with Offgrim, following behind. And as you are sort of doing your stuff, everybody else is moving around here. These two goblins, G4 and G5, they get out of dodge. They don't want anything to do with that. And so as you're in this room, you have the opportunity to look around if you want to, or to just get out and go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make an investigation.
Okay. Yeah. And in particular, are you looking for any particular kind of things, or are you just getting a general idea of if there's anything of use? What's the specific you'd like to accomplish?
So I'm gonna look for anything that just looks kind of out of the ordinary. I'm assuming a workshop. Probably it is. They just use this for like the plannings and things like that. But if I find anything that tells me anything like paperwork that tells me like there's more operations like this or anything like that, I'm looking for stuff like that to make sure that there's no other records of maybe another operation around here, basically.
Absolutely.
That is I don't think I have any bonuses to... Because that would be intellect, right? Or intelligence. Mm-hmm. So it's a 16.
Yeah. Okay. So, you do find that it looks like they've used up their stockpile of these stink bomb things, whatever they were making those out of. That.
Thank goodness.
So you're not sure what exactly that was, but there's some sort of like tar that seems to have been involved. And as you're looking through to see if there's any evidence that there's other operations going on, let me roll something real quick. Okay, you find that there is an oddly not goblin-written document in here that seems to be a correspondence with some other group, and it's a scroll, but the ring around this scroll is made of wood, and it has a skull as the image on it. And as you take this ring off and you unfurl this thing and read it, it's written very well with really nice calligraphy, and it seems to be a correspondence between these goblins. Splick specifically, it's dressed as Splick, who is of course still being tried or potentially murdered by an angry mob in Greyford.
We don't know yet.
It's addressed to Splick, and this is from a group called the Spooks. And it's not a group that you're familiar with. Actually, it might be. Let me have you make an history check.
History 9.
Okay. So you think maybe there's a vague recollection of somebody mentioning there's a group of this, but you don't know.
Doesn't it kind of rings a bell?
Yeah, but only in name. But you see that they apparently were having discussions about meeting up to go over certain ways that their operations might benefit from each other's unique skills. And they apparently this was only written some days ago based on the date, or received some days ago probably based on the date because it was within like a month. And it looks like they were planning to meet on a very particular date that is listed here at a particular spot that is vague enough that you're not sure what it means. But it says, meet us at the spot. If you agree, we can talk about this. Meet us at the spot where where you made your first big you made your first big bounty for yourself. Speaking of the Splick Spigot gang.
Okay. I go ahead and roll that back up and put on the little ring, and I put that in my bag.
Okay.
It's good info.
And you see
possibly
that
be deciphered by somebody else.
Yeah, so based on that, actually based on the timeline that it's suggesting that they meet them on this particular day, right now, for you, it's actually Midsummer the 1st of Midsummer. But they were saying that they would meet them on the 23rd of Midsummer.
Okay.
Okay. So you put that away, and
3rd of Midsummer.
as you are doing that, what is your passive perception? That will be under your senses.
Sorry, writing something down. Senses, passive perception is 10. Keeping in mind I can't be surprised by beasts or monstrosities or fae.
Okay. Yeah, you notice nothing in particular. But, okay. What would you like to do next?
Well, now I kind of want to look again, but I'm going to go ahead and... I hate that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and walk out of the room.
All
I'm going to play by your rules.
So you go ahead and go out, and the last thing you hear is that you think maybe you hear the pattering of feet that were waiting for you to move so that they could get on out of wherever they were. Okay. So you see that at this point, the fog is actually dissipating.
Okay.
And your companions are busy. And all right, so what would you like to do next?
Well, I think my turn is over. I'm just gonna, as I go.
Right now, we're kind of out of combat at the moment and out of turn.
Yeah, I'm just making my way like toward where I'm assuming they went this way when I saw them dash away.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So as you get over into that area, the first thing you see is that they are gathering up all this stuff into bags again, and this seems to be all the things, maybe even a little more, that was taken from the bank in Greyford.
Okay. How much longer do you think, boys?
So as they sort of gather it all up and you go in and help a little, it seems like you guys are pretty much ready to go. You just got to find a way to drag all this stuff out.
Right.
So in total, you have essentially just 5 bags, basically, of a bunch of just random goods. It's not all just gold and silver. Some of it is, there's some paper money, the United Army paper money that they're trying to enforce throughout a lot of the barons right now. And there's also just general goods and jewelry and things like that, and precious stones, because there's a lot of miners that work there and they like to hold, if they find something like a garnet or some sort of ruby or something, they'll hang on to that, or certain ores they'll hang on to for themselves. So there's a lot of that in this as well.
Is the paper money used in Greyford? Like, it definitely came from Greyford?
It's just seems like you couldn't really know if all of this is from Greyford or not.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of stuff that's here. Maybe it's all from Greyford, maybe it's that and a little more.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hard, not really any way to tell.
I'm assuming we can grab like 2 bags each.
Yeah, you could definitely grab 2 bags each and just sort of like move slowly out of this area for sure.
Okay.
Actually, Steel sort of says,
Well, here's an idea. Why don't we take that door that we just knocked down a little while ago, and we'll tie some ropes to it, make kind of a sled.
Make a sled. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Steel. I like your initiative. LOL.
all right.
And I help him fashion the little sled.
All right. So as you guys are doing this and you're just sort of fashioning this sled out of this thing, you vaguely think that you hear a voice coming from this direction through here, and it does not sound like Wugtub, and it doesn't sound like a goblin. It sounds like somebody's talking sort of lightly and sort of almost sounds feminine. And you can't really tell what it's saying right away, though.
I'm gonna cautiously... Wait, you said it was from over here?
Yeah. Well, sort of,
Yeah.
it sounds like that. And you don't see anybody over there, so it might be through this hole in the wall.
Yeah, I hear that, and I'm gonna make my way over there and listen closer.
All right. So, to focus your attention, make a perception check.
17.
Okay. You hear, it sounds like a woman's voice saying, No, just, there's a lot of gunshots out there. Don't go out there. Do you understand? It's dangerous. Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's obviously... I recognize Wugtub's voice. But this other voice doesn't sound like a goblin?
But friends.
Not to you, no. Unless it's just a really sophisticated goblin.
Okay. I'm gonna go back over and I'm gonna say, let's go ahead and get this stuff out of here.
All right. So you guys begin to drag this thing out, and it does make some noises. It's just being
Yeah, I figured.
across the floor. But you guys manage to go a little ways. You wait in this area, and
Yeah. So
nothing seems to be happening.
as we get to this area and they're kind of here, I'm gonna go over here real quick.
Okay.
And just peek my head around this corner.
All right. At this point, this door has actually been closed.
Oh, it's been closed?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking through the keyhole.
Okay. So this one actually has a what looks like a broken handle that is a very large area that it doesn't really close all the way. It's looks like somebody tried to open this door at one point and just ripped off the handle. And as you sort of just look inside, you see that there is Wugtub in here, and he's just sort of leaning against this rock formation, and behind him there's these 3 cages, look like a large jail cell type cages that have been built here very crudely. And in this one way over here, there is what looks like somebody who's used it, and somebody had to like use the restroom at some point and do some things, and it's all messed up, but there's nobody in it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one right here, this one's a lot nicer. It's got candles, it's got some paper and things in it, and it's got a bunch of books stacked up. And in fact, there are a bunch of books stacked up all around Wugtub here as well. And there is a woman who's pretty filthy just from dirt and grime and stuff, but she's wearing a dress and looks like it's been through a lot as well. But she's sitting in this cage and sort of just reaching out with her hand and just like patting him on the shoulder and saying, "It's okay, just stay in here. We'll just wait and see what happens."
Mm. There's nobody else in the other cage. It's just this one person imprisoned.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna motion for Offgrim. To come join me.
Okay.
And I say to Offgrim quietly, nope, I'm thieves canting to Offgrim.
Yeah.
With finger signals, because I remember what happened last time I spoke quietly. That they have a prisoner.
She could be worth a ransom getting her out of here.
I don't respond to that in the way, because I am not going to respond in a way that he likes. So instead,
No,
I just
actually you know by his background that he's kind of joking about that and just shaking
okay.
his head.
I say,
get her out.
Yeah, I say, not exactly what I was thinking, Offgrim, but I like, yeah. So I go ahead and I slowly open the door, and I just kind of stand in the doorway. I don't go in yet.
You sort of swing that open, and you see that Wugtub sort of looks over at you, and just stares for a moment.
I just have my hands up.
They just stare, and this woman is looking over at you as well, and sort of like almost hiding a little bit behind him in her cage still. And she's obviously incarcerated here, but she seems to notice your pistols and everything, and you have your hands up, even though you have your guns at your side, and she says, "Please, we don't want any trouble." And Wugtub just sort of looks and stares at you, sort of narrowing his eyes, and seems like he's cautious.
So I say, "We're not here to hurt you. In fact, we're here to help you."
A Wugtub? Wait. I don't know who you are. Who are you?
That's okay, Wugtub. I know who you are.
How?
And I know that they've been using you for things that you don't really want to do. You are friends with this... Yeah, go ahead.
Tilts his head. Who?
Dop, Jaub, Splick. Are they your friends, or is this woman your friend?
Yeah. They're my friends, and Mary is friend too.
Do you keep all your friends in cages?
Oh, no. Just Mary is first cage friend, but
First
it's
cage
because Splick say so. You're a friend to Splick?
Of course. I'm a friend of you. I'm a friend of Wugtub.
Hmm.
A new
But I
friend
don't
of
know you.
Wugtub.
Hmm. Make a. I'll let you choose whether this is deception or persuasion.
I'm gonna do a persuasion because I'm not trying.
Okay.
I'm not deceiving him.
Mhm.
I'm really just trying to persuade him to not hurt us or this woman and let her go. So that'll be a 16.
Okay.
Okay. Friend. Um. You. Do you want some? Wait. What was all the guns?
I say we had some disagreements out here, but it's all settled now.
Blood on your clothes.
That I cut myself on a sharp rock.
Oh, I do that a lot. Can't fit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little clumsy sometimes. You can relate.
Mm-hmm.
Wugtub, how would you like to let Mary go? She's your friend, right?
Let go? No, no. Can't. Need to read.
You could come with
Mary,
us.
help me read.
How would you like to come as well?
Where?
Mary can help you read anywhere.
And as you say this woman sort of looks over and she seems like she's torn between some things here, and she says, "Well, I think I understand what you're trying to do. There's." She looks over to Wugtub and then looks at you and says, "Is everyone sleeping?"
Some people are sleeping and others went out for a walk.
Is Splick out for a walk?
He is. He's actually on vacation right now.
Where?
He's vacationing in Greyford.
Huh. Um. Well, you see, hey, Wugtub, Splick's not here right now. Could you maybe let me just out of the cage for a little bit, like we do sometimes, because he's not gonna know. And can I go talk to our new friends alone for a little bit? And he just,
Oh, not supposed to.
it really will be okay, I promise.
Okay.
And so he just grabs this tiny little key off of a thing and hands it to her because she apparently has more finesse than him in this and is able to unlock it this way. And she comes out. She says, "I'll be right back." And see, he sits down there, and this woman, Mary, comes and she says, "I'll be right out here." And she closes the door there.
Okay.
And she
Didn't expect you to
says,
close the door. Okay.
and she's just to get a little bit of distance there. She says, "I really have been looking to get out of here for a long time, but it's complicated now because I have bonded with Wugtub. I've been in here for a few months. Wugtub has treated me with the most kindness out of any of them, and he really is misguided. He's a sweet ogre, but I don't know if I can leave him because, well, he has a bounty on him now, and I'm the only way he's going to survive or not be used by some other group. This I hope you understand why this is a difficult scenario.
I can appreciate the gravity of what you're saying. If it came down to it, though, do you think he would be loyal to you or to Splick?
I think if Splick was gone, out of the question, gone, I don't know how that would affect Wugtub. I really don't. Splick basically raised Wugtub. But if he was just gone away somewhere for a long time, where he couldn't communicate with Wugtub, and Wugtub knew that he was okay, but just inaccessible, that might be the best option. Even if it was just he's inaccessible.
Well, I'm going to level with you. At this very moment, I don't know what is befalling Splick. He's either locked away and will be for a long time, or he's been taken by a lynch mob. At this time, that's all I know, because last time I saw where he was being held, some people were very unhappy with the things he did, and they wanted him dead. The good news is, if we get all of their stuff that he stole back in time, they might consider letting him rot in a jail cell. But we are already behind schedule, and I don't want to save anybody that doesn't want to be saved.
Well, I definitely want out of here. I want Wugtub to be okay. I don't know what the best option is. Maybe we can run away somewhere else, and I can try to find him some other place to be. Maybe we can... I mean, I also have a family, and I really want to see them again, but I can't bring Wugtub all the way to Dry Glen. I really don't know what to do here, but I can't leave Wugtub behind. It wouldn't be the right thing.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to. And I think if you think that you can handle him, y'all can both get out of here. But unfortunately...
Well, you're doing this on the behalf of Greyfish, right?
Indeed.
Is there any way to get a convict exonerated that you know of? What might do that? Somebody that, under these circumstances, maybe would be able to prove that he wasn't at fault for some of the things he was forced to do.
Best thing I could do would be put in a good word. We've done some favors for Greyford recently that might give us a little pull. I can testify to his innocence. He's obviously being manipulated based on what I've seen. And if I were to be able to tell them that he's no longer in the employ of these goblins and he is off somewhere else, without giving any specifics, they might be less inclined to go after him, knowing he's with somebody that could potentially set him on the right path. I don't know anything about you, but you're obviously a victim here.
Yes, but maybe that would mean that my word has a little more sway than it might otherwise. And do you think maybe... I just don't know of any other option. I don't know that this is the wisest choice, but it might be the best of a lot of difficult, bad choices. Maybe we could come with you back to Greyford.
If that's a risk that you're willing to take, then that's fine. But with the understanding that if stuff goes bad and we don't have time to explain why the ogre that robbed the bank is walking into town with us, we might all go down.
Yeah. Well, if that's something you're not willing to do, then that's fine. But at least I could make a case for him out in the open instead of hiding our entire lives, making Wugtub hide his entire life until he's just found by some other group that wants to do even worse things with him. Getting it out in the open right away might be the best course of action. And if you really have the sway that you say that you have with Greyford right now, then maybe if the mayor is, as you said, you're doing this for the mayor, if that's something that he's willing.
My sway is one thing. The real question is, do you have sway enough over Wugtub to make him behave while we try to achieve this goal?
Oh, he can behave. I guarantee you that.
One slip and it's going to be a really hard case to prove.
I'm more worried, honestly, about assumptions people make right away. Wugtub will listen to me, though. I know he will.
Okay, then I think we can do it.
Okay. So she goes back into this room and says, give me a moment to talk to him to explain what's happening.
Okay.
And so she goes back in the room and she stays there for a little while you guys are all out here. And as you update Steel on it, Ofgrim, and he says, "This is a tall order. Be able to convince these people that this fellow is worth listening to it all, and this lady. But she might benefit from your silver tongue as well. If you're able to convince any number of people that this is somebody worth heeding."
I think, given the circumstances, reasonable people, may understand what's been happening to Wugtub. He's been manipulated, he's been used. He's told what to do and he does it. And if he truly does consider Mary a friend and has respect for her and she's able to not control him, but convince him through rational thought, if he's capable of that, to no longer listen to the people that are making him do these bad things, then I think it might just work. Or we might get back to Greyford and we're sent to Hangman's Trench too. Is that a risk that you're willing to take? For an innocent woman that we don't know?
Say that I have a soft spot for people in cages. It's a risk I'm willing to take.
I was gonna say, I turned to Steel to see his reaction as well.
So this. Well, I think this is on brand, so to speak, for what you've done so far, and I respect it. I mean, if there's any sensible people in the world, you're only going to prove them by letting them do those honorable things in the first place. I know people have a lot of thoughts about what even is honor anymore. Does it matter? But I'm of a mind to say that it does. I know all about people assuming that I'm one thing just because of what I look like. And from what I can tell, Wugtub's been stuck in that for probably his whole life. If it's anything like what my people go through, he's going to continue to be stuck in that his whole life. But there are some people, just like that leather worker that we met, that indicated he was more of a sensible person by some of the things he said. There are people out there that don't just assume that because you're one thing, you're bad, or that you have some
only one kind of use. Wugtub's going to have a hard laugh no matter what. This might
lighten the load
give
a
him
little
an
bit.
equal. Might give him an easier one.
I figured you would understand, Steel. I think this is the right thing to do. I thought about leaving, not even checking on that room. But I really did feel bad for Wugtub.
About this point, the door opens back up, and Wugtub is there, but he's also his hands are tied together in a way that almost looks like he could easily break out of this if he wanted to, but just for appearances, he's got his hands sort of tied in such a way that it looks like cloth or rope shackles, basically. So you don't have shackles big enough for this, just to make sure that if you're going across and finding anybody, there's no assumptions being made. But Mary says, all right, well, the sooner we get out of here, the sooner we try to get a better situation for Wugtub, and maybe the sooner I get to go see my family again in Dryglen. I think I'm ready if you are. And Wugtub looks over and says, oh, that's the stuff. We're gonna take that back to the people with the money place. I'll carry it.
That's right, Wugtub. Thank you for your help.
And so he goes over and he just sort of looks down at his at his ropes on his hands and just breaks them immediately. And she says, no, Wugtub. And she says, you can't do that. We'll talk about this. But then he just basically he puts this he from out of this room he actually came out with the slightly repaired fort on his back.
On his back, yeah.
And attaches it back on like it's this harness thing and just puts this stuff in it. And he has just this back fort thing. He was this technically a howdah that he was wearing. And now it's full of all this treasure from the Bank of Greyford.
Awesome. I say, let's go.
All right.
We head out.
So you guys head out. You're actually 1 day away from Greyford. You were just out in the wilderness, out away from it, in the sort of southeastward direction. So as you guys are going on back, do you want to take any time to rest up a little or anything? Or do you just want to try to push through and try to get there?
Yeah, we're just going to push through.
Okay. So, along the way, let me just check for something. Gonna see if anything of interest happens on your way back. Okay. So you guys travel for several hours. You know that it's going to be at least a day and some hours into the night before you get back. But as you're going, it's about dusk. And you know you're about halfway there or so.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that there is a wagon traveling, a covered wagon, that you're going to intersect its path at some point. It looks like it's headed sort of in the direction of Greyford as well. You're going to sort of make a Y-shaped fork in that direction.
Okay.
So you see this out many hundreds of yards out before you actually would interact with it. What would you like to do?
We're staying on course because we're trying to get back as quickly as possible. So I guess we're making a beeline for the intersection with this wagon.
Okay. Wanting to risk running into this just for the sake of not wanting to risk missing out on getting to Greyford in time. To make sure that everything goes as smoothly as it possibly can. You sort of get up to the point that this wagon is very clearly, they recognize that somebody's coming over here, and they sort of see this. And a lot of people will, in the Barrens, when they're traveling, especially this late, are very cautious.
Mm-hmm.
And you have sort of a flag system where people will hold up like a wave a flag just to say, like, I'm not a threat, don't bother me, please, or whatever it is. And this person looks like they're digging in, the person at the front of the wagon that's steering this thing, to grab one of these, and looks over, and their eyes get really wide all of a sudden as they see that there's this ogre that's being transported here with these people. And currently the ogre also has the this bonds on.
Yeah.
And as you guys are getting closer and you sort of just end up traveling next to each other at this point, there's this human on this wagon just looking over. He says, "Y'all some kind of bounty hunters?"
I say, yeah, something like that. We're just headed back to Grayford right now.
That's where I'm headed. Starting a business out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but what's the story with this big ugly thing?
I say, this here is Wugtub, and he's coming with us to Grayford.
Well, man, y'all are either going to get a whole bunch of money for turning in this contract, or y'all about to make the butcher real happy.
Say, yeah, something like that.
Well, you keep saying that. What does that mean?
Actually, Wugtub's a friend of ours.
Huh. Yeah, I'm
He
going
gets
to
a
assume
little-
that's a joke because you got him tied up.
Yeah, you got me. We're looking to grab the bounty on this one.
Well, seems pretty docile. Must have slipped him something. Some of those, what do you call it, hoof thistle? Yeah, I reckon so. Anyway, alrighty. Well, say, you got any use for pewter?
Pewter. I don't guess I do.
Yep.
Is that your
Well,
business?
I kind of fell into my lap, but yeah, pewter candlesticks. They're actually old world relics, but that's what I learned they're called on account I read the paper that came with the box that I found. Apparently somebody was shipping them from one place to the other. And anyway, what I think they are, I think candlestick was like a code name. I'm pretty sure they're kind of mace. You just whack somebody over the head because they're real sturdy. They got a nice heft to them. And so, yeah, I think that they're, as far as I understand, you could use them as a kind of torch, but then you just sort of, you flip it around and you hit somebody with them. So it was like an offensive kind of candle.
I say, let me see what you got.
All right. So he sort of like stops and slows down, and he's wanting to like get out and show you his wares right there in the middle of the in the middle of the wilderness. And so he just sort of stops his wagon there, gets out, brings out this little tiny box out of the back. He says, "Well, here's some of them," and it's just these really sort of silvery looking candlestick type things that are very ornate. And as he lets you hold one, they're pretty hefty. They've got this sort of dull iron colored sheen to them. But he just sort of hands that off and says, "Well, what do you think? You probably break a skull with that, huh?"
Yeah, it's could be used as a weapon or decoration.
Yep.
Or both.
Or both.
How much you looking to get for one of these with your new business?
Well, considering it's an old world relic, I'd say I can give you this one for Probably about 8 gold pieces.
I tell you what, would this be your first sale?
Yeah. Well, this far out, on account of a lot of people don't appreciate the genius and the tactical advantage of this down south.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those down south, those southerners.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and take one.
All right. So you can add a pewter candlestick that you can use as a mace.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, yeah, we'll see how it works out.
Well,
that's funny.
If you got any friends, let them know.
Oops.
They never have to worry about walking in the dark without any light to guide them anymore.
All right, sir. What was your name?
Titus.
Titus. I'm Givik. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. All right, well, let's travel on next to each other, why don't we, on the way into Greyford, just for extra protection.
All right, sounds good.
All right. So you guys go on, and you continue to push through the night, and it looks like that was this guy's plan anyway. It gets to the point that it's well after midnight. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's actually the third day of this particular journey. And you get into Greyford, and you're exhausted. You're feeling the effects of it at this point. So you're not technically exhausted yet, but there will be a roll later, if depending. So you get into Greyford, and you see that there's still a bunch of people just sort of almost looks like they're protesting or waiting around outside of the sheriff's station. They're sitting around and watching, and people are on edge even this late into the evening. And
okay,
as far as you can tell, that must mean that Splick is still in there, and his other accomplice that was with them.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
But as you are approaching, and you get closer into town, and this guy pulls off, and he's going toward some other part of town, the guy you were traveling with, Titus. Other people start to realize what is happening and that you're bringing this ogre in, and people are starting to just gasp, and other people are sort of getting ready and getting their guns ready and are really on edge here. And you see people that are sort of saying, "Wait, that's the ogre! That's the guy that did it!" What would you like to do?
I kind of hold up my hands and I say, "Everyone wait. We need to talk to the sheriff."
No! The sheriff's been wanting to talk this whole time. We got one of them right here. This is our chance.
I have your gold. I have your jewels. I retrieved them, and we've brought this ogre back. He's no threat to any of you.
All right, make a persuasion check.
Yep. 20, dirty 20.
Okay. You kind of calm the crowd just a little bit at this mention specifically that you brought their goods back. And then some of them start to say, "Well, show it to us. We got to get our stuff out. We got to get our things." And somebody else will say, "No, you're going to try to steal some of my stuff if we put it out right now." And
which is why I said, go get the sheriff.
All right. So at this point, just moments later, you actually see that the sheriff, as well as Cornelia and Karam, and come out where the deputy is left behind to watch the front. There's a human deputy here, and he's sort of watching the front of the offices and making sure that nobody's getting rowdy or trying to like break in while they're out. And the mayor is there as well. He comes from another direction. And as all this is happening and everybody sees this, the mayor comes up and says, "Might you go ahead and explain what's going on here? Because this is what I asked you to get, but you've brought a little bit more."
So I explain to the sheriff what happened, and I say, this woman here was a prisoner of the Splix gang. Wugtub here, and I gesture to Wugtub, was pretty much a pawn in their scheme the whole time. I don't expect you to believe me. I think you should talk to Wugtub yourself, as well as this woman who was a victim and a prisoner of the Split gang. She can vouch for him. I believe that Wugtub is not a bad ogre. I believe he was being used for a bad purpose. I am not going to stand in the way of the law and what has to be done as far as retribution, but we did get everything that was stolen back to your people. We've brought it all.
So, and this woman, Mary, begins to say, I will gladly talk to anyone I need to explain what has happened. And the mayor sort of just tells her she might as well do it right now in front of everybody. And so for the next hour or so, people are just talking back and forth, learning what the situation is, what exactly has happened here, and the sort of unique circumstances of it. And every once in a while, people have to be calmed down because these people are still sort of angry that their money and their goods were taken, and it's just a big inconvenience, and it was scary. Some people were shot. In fact, one of the women that was shot that you actually helped out of the bank is one of the people that has. I'm going to actually tell her disposition with a roll here.
Okay.
She is one of the people that actually is not happy about Wugtub, and sort of claims that this is, this whole thing got her injured. She's been really traumatized by it. And as for the other two guys, you all got out, the dwarf and the human, they're actually sympathetic to this situation. So this is going to change some roles that come over later, where not everybody is against you here.
Okay.
You get to this point after all of this talk has gone on, and this angry mob that's wanting blood, and where the mayor says, well, I think this is all something that we're going to have a lot more. I'd like to say we could have a lot more discussions about it, but we're going to have to figure out something tonight, imminently. Thank you for getting back the goods that I sent you for. I did promise that I would repay you. So I'm going to give you an option. I can either give you money, cash, for the services rendered, or if there's some other thing that you want, we can take care of that, and then you can go on. It seems like you've done your part. You don't have to be a part of this anymore. What is it that I can do for you to repay you for your services?
I kind of look around to the group, especially Cornelia and Offgrim, and just say, is there anything else we need besides our payment that was promised?
They don't seem to have anything in particular of note, but it seems almost more like they're waiting to see what your decision is going to be. And in the past few weeks, this is something that Cornelia does sometimes. You've been able to make a few more decisions a little bit independently and taking a leadership role, and she'll do that with everyone every once in a while, where she'll start seeing, sort of testing people's leadership skills over a period of time, and it's not as explicitly stated, but you sort of understand that that's what happens. You think this is one of those situations in which you are getting an opportunity to do that.
We'll take the payment. I know we didn't even negotiate a price, but if you would kind of wrapped into that, if that means you pay us less or whatever, I'd ask you to, when it comes to Wugtug and his case, to consider our thoughts and my experience and this woman's experience when making a decision. You have everything that was stolen. I understand that people got hurt. Ultimately, that was not Wugtub's fault. And the person that is at fault, you have in chains currently. Justice, I agree, should be served, but I just ask that you take into consideration the innocence of this creature that was used.
Well, I tell you what, I can do what you're asking. Take that into consideration. Give you what you deserve to be paid. And I can write some letters that I think could go a long way to making sure at least that this fellow gets a fair trial. One of the benefits of the United Army is that they are trying to create a law system that includes the Grand Courthouse of the United Barrens that is in Hangman's Trench. I think I have enough sway to ensure that he could at least get a fair trial in Hangman's Trench.
A fair trial is all I'm asking.
Getting that put together and done in such a way that they can be transported over there will, of course, cut out some of that payment I can pay you. Unless, of course, you would like to be the group that handles taking him over there. Like I said, you've been involved in this more than you needed to be. I'm not going to hold you to that, but I can pay you full price if we, plus a bonus of sorts, if you're the one that is able to handle this, take it all over there, keeping in mind that, and he sort of leans in and looks around and says, I can't control the independence of some of these people, whether they try to come after you to stop you.
I look around at the group and I say, I don't want to make, well, I will make the decision if need be, but I don't think we have anything else here in Greyford at the moment that we need to do. And since we are mercenaries, it's kind of the kind of thing we do. We take the jobs that are offered us. So I'm okay to see this through if you are, and I think it deserves to be seen through. I really do protest to the innocence of this ogre, and I'd like to see him properly tried and fairly tried.
Very well. Then tonight, if you can make sure that he is protected, I'll do all I can to make sure that that happens. We can squeeze him into a cell, and I'll have the rest of you, if you'd like, we can set up a place where you can sleep out here in the sheriff's station as well, if that works for you, Sheriff. And she nods and says, yeah, I think we can get that to work. Just to make sure that you're all together before going out. That being said, one more complication to this. We're planning to ship Splick and his accomplice BB out as well. Could you take all of them?
Now that's a tough one. I don't know.
And you sort of see Wugtub kind of cock his head a little bit, and at the mention of Splick.
Yeah. Sheriff, I don't know if that would be a good idea to have them all traveling together. Wugtub has been manipulated into doing these things by Splick himself. Having them together and having any kind of communication or even proximity to Splick may trigger something that nobody's going to like. And I think...
Well, I've got to get Splick out of here. You see what's happening here. Either you do it or somebody else is going to be involved in the whole process. And either way, they're probably going to be traveling at the same time.
I turned to Mary. No, I turned to Wugtub. And I say, Wugtub, if you want to not go to prison or not be killed, you have to understand that Splick is not your friend. And he's going to make you do bad things. And if you do bad things, everyone is going to want you to go to jail. And you'll never see the sun again. And you'll never see Mary again.
Make a persuasion check.
$19.
Okay. And we will end it there for now.
Oh no.
All right. So, a whole new bag of worms there. But
had to get Splick involved.
Some ethical, moral, and other kinds of quandaries happening right now.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
And you ended on a roll and didn't even tell me what the roll was. Cliffhanger. Wait, there's some cliffhanger music in here, isn't there? I think there is.
I think there was some.
Cliffhanger music. Okay.
So we will pick up somewhere around that point at the next one. But well done. You're going to get some XP for things you've gone through. Let me do a quick calculation. Yeah, I really kind of thought you were dead in the beginning.
Dude. Yeah, kind of did too. I was like, come on, this can't end here. I'll start over with a new character.
Alright, let's see. Alright, you are going to get a total of... Okay, 2,100 XP.
Nice.
Right, well on your way to 5th level.
Very cool.
Right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good. Glad you liked it. I think I honestly, it was another situation where I had no idea what was going to happen. That's how I
was curious. I was curious, like, how much of that you kind of, like, predetermined or...
Yeah, I had some general ideas of basically just some personality traits of some of the people involved, and that's all I had.
Yeah.
And so...
Did you have fun?
I did.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun. So, with the goblins in the beginning, when they were in there, the thing I was envisioning was in Barry, when that guy he's like the leader of this like gang, but he's the really polite kind of guy that just like grabs everybody in like a circle and like... and does this sort of stuff. So I was like, this makes sense. They just got up to this point and they've got some people they want to have involved. But yeah. Awesome.
That's funny. Yeah, that was cool.
Well done.
That was
You
fun.
survived.
I know, we did it.
Yeah, I did not. I had no anticipations of this Wugtub storyline going anywhere or
that's
even
so
starting.
funny.
So, yeah.
I didn't expect him to like come back to town with us. Like, I really was thinking Mary was just gonna like run off with him, and then she like pretty much convinced us to take him back and like plead his case for him.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
It's
because of
like-
the way that you like to play, you have this interest in. I might have done that very differently for another person playing, because you have
Yeah.
this interest in like the social dynamics, which means that your challenges and your encounters need to have a lot more social, social kinds of elements to them, which means
Yeah.
that conundrums and dilemmas like that are necessary for you to go through if you're trying to focus on those sorts of stories.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll see what happens then.
We'll see. All right. Next time on
All
Dungeon
right.
Ball Z.
Dungeon Ball Z. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and hope everybody enjoyed it. And if you're watching later on YouTube, not watching the live stream, I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And I hope you'll tune in for the next installment of the Barrens. This was Chapter 3. Will be Chapter 4 next time, and we'll see what happens with Givik and Wugtub and Mary and the whole shebang with that kind of thing. Bye.